You are just a number on their roster. It's a really hard thing to come to terms with, but it's the unfortunate reality with many avoidants, especially dismissive avoidants. They keep a roster of available options, potential romantic partners that they have in their back pocket, sometimes entertaining romantic validation from numerous people at the same time. In early dating phases, it's very common for avoidants to have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people that they're actively talking to and dating at the same time. Then when they're in a more serious relationship or situationship, it's very common for them to still have people on the back burner. And these people on the back burner could be people that they met through dating apps, or it could be exes. They do tend to keep exes in the periphery. The more available options, the more people that are validating them and wanting them, the better they feel. When you're dealing with an avoidant, you are dealing with a person that has a profound wound of shame. And that shame stems from consistent childhood emotional neglect. Profound, consistent childhood emotional neglect. They personalize that neglect, growing up to feel like there's something wrong with them, that they're defective and unlovable. And they learn to rely heavily on external validation, the approval from others to feel better about themselves. By having this roster, they have a bunch of people that they know want them, and it helps them get that boost that they need because they don't know how to internally validate themselves. Plus, having a roster always gives them backup options in case a relationship fails. Dismissive avoidance especially will approach a relationship 1 foot out the door already, with the preconceived notion that the relationship is inevitably doomed to fail, that all relationships will fail. And they fear rejection, and they even fear abandonment. So by having available options, it helps them control things. It gives them a sense of control because they don't have to go without that validation, and they can jump ship if their fears get triggered or if they feel that there's a risk of rejection looming. So they always have the different sources of validation and different ways to distract themselves. In their households growing up, emotions were never safe. They couldn't express themselves, and their own emotions were rejected. So they learned to not deal with anything. They learned to not express themselves, and they learned that emotional displays and vulnerability is extremely unsafe, and expressing themselves equals rejection, abandonment, and intimacy is terrifying to them. So by having available options, it helps them control the level of intimacy, emotional intimacy especially, that they have with any given partner. Because it's hard to develop a true deep intimacy with somebody when you're entertaining other options on the side, especially actively. It helps create emotional distance between themselves and their partner or partners. So it gives them that sense of control. It gives them that backup option. It gives them that validation that they so desperately crave. And for this reason, that's why they hardly ever fully slam the door shut on an ex, always leaving just a little bit of wiggle room to come back in. That could be leaving things at their partner or ex-partner's place. It could be vague statements like, I'm just not ready right now, but you never know what'll happen down the road. Staying friends on Facebook, occasionally texting or messaging, liking posts and watching your stories, but just 1 foot in the door at all times, keeping that roster alive and well. Because in most cases, they ended the relationship with their partner still wanting them. So they have that sense in the back of their mind that this person still wants them. And if they keep them in the periphery, it's an available backup option. But they never get too close to anybody. And when things get too intimate and it gets scary, they have another source of surface level validation. Not only does it keep all the validation coming in from all directions, they're able to maintain that intimacy and keep it all surface level. So when you're dating and you're meeting somebody that you discover has 5, 6, 7, 8 people that they're talking to or dating at the same time, no, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that they're avoidant. There's a lot of people that do that, but that is a very common behavior from somebody who is severely avoidant. It helps the validation come in, and it prevents them from getting too close to anybody, and it gives them that sense of security. If they get rejected here, or if they get too close, they have an option over there. And it has nothing to do with you or your worth. they would do this behavior with anybody. And the better you treat them, the more terrifying intimacy is with you because, well, there's that shame that's at the heart of it, because their fear that largely lies in the subconscious is if I lower my walls and I let my partner in, my partner's going to figure out that I'm defective and they're going to reject me. So emotional intimacy is subconsciously directly associated with rejection and abandonment, but they never have to get too intimate with all of their backup options in the periphery. And it has nothing to do with you or your worth, but it has everything to do with them, their choices, their insecurities, their attachment wounds, but yes, also their character.